It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Can't believe it. I missed everything.
Missed the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
Always exciting when you have the new job opportunity, but when do you ask about money? Should it be right away? Should it be after you're offered the job? We talked about this morning because we have a listener who's got a big interview today and a lot of different input. We're not exactly sure which is the right one, but you should hear this coming up in the podcast in a little bit. Here we go.
Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me?
Like most red-blooded hetero males, I was interested when I saw this whole thing pop up about showering with another girl. And let's just get into the story, Dawn. This is got your husband kind of upset?
Yeah, so he's upset. I think it's a little silly. So I'm on a trip with some girlfriends, and we're staying in a house. And, you know, it's trying to get everybody out the door, everybody ready. We had an excursion we were going on, and there was just limited time. So my best girl and I, we just hopped in the shower together. It was one of those walk-ins.
Let's
that has,
go.
The cool shower head. Listen,
he needs to sit out of this conversation.
Time.
Yeah.
We were just saving time, whatever. There's 2 shower heads. We've known each other forever.
Yeah.
And we just needed to, whatever. And so I mentioned it. I don't even know why now. I wish I hadn't mentioned it to my husband in passing. And he's pissed weirdly about it.
Really?
I think it's no big deal, but he's mad bad. So I'm wondering what y'all think.
Did you guys scrub each other or?
Again, slow down, sir. No, we were just in a rush to get out the door. We just took a quick shower.
So has he ever needed a reason to worry about that? You've never played both teams.
I mean,
there it is.
But not really.
Okay, but in your heart that this was just to get clean and be efficient with time.
Yes.
But
100%.
Did you enjoy it?
It wasn't bad eye candy, but that wasn't the purpose of the excursion. That was literally just we were in a hurry.
I'm so thankful you called this morning.
Gross.
I'm going to put you on hold for a second. Would your husband get mad at something like this?
No, he wouldn't. But he would think it's strange. There's a difference between thinking it's strange and then being jealous over the whole thing. I feel like maybe he's been given a reason. I was trying to stick up for her, and then she answered that last question with, well, because I know if I were to shower with another woman, it would literally be just washing our hair, drying off, and getting out. That will never be a factor in my life.
Or would you be bathing suitie?
Probably for me, bathing suitie. I have a lot of friends that love to be naked, and they have no problem with it. I am the most modest person you will ever meet. I don't even like to be naked, in front of myself, We're a naked family.
What if your husband was like, hey, you're like, oh my God, you got ready so fast. You'd be like, yeah. And if he's like, yeah, I showered with Craig.
Yeah.
What would you think about that?
That's the thing. I'm trying to think of ways to justify this.
Guys will skip a shower versus getting in another shower with another naked guy.
I know, but girls think differently. All my girlfriends would have no problem just hopping in a huge 5-person shower and just getting it done. But then you think that way. You think sexual. We're no. Let's get ready and go out for a night on the town. And yes, your eyes closed when you do that. Yes.
Okay. Does her husband have anything to be upset about? That's the question I want to ask as you're listening right now, right? They're on an excursion. They got to get ready. They got to get out the door. She decides to strip down, get in the shower with her friend. Nothing naughty happens, but husband's a little PO'd. Does he have the right to be? That's my question for you, okay? Basically, her husband is angry because to get out the door faster when they were on vacation,
she was on the girls' trip, though.
Jumped in the shower with one of her friends, and now her husband's finding out about it, and nothing really naughty happened.
No. I wish she hadn't answered the questions the way she did, though, because that's probably where he gets his paranoia from. When you said, did you like what you said? Well, you know what I mean? That's where the paranoia sets in. I give my husband no chance to have paranoia. I can never think of a scenario that would get me in a shower with another woman naked, even if we're in a time crunch. You know what I mean? So,
well, out of that scenario
has
popped a couple of interesting things. Immediately get a text from your husband who said, I would wash your butt in Punta Cana if you needed it. I don't necessarily want to, but I'm here for you. And
he is a guy's guy, isn't he?
I do appreciate the fellas in my life that are willing to help. Still to the point where I can reach all of my crevices. So thanks. And then Dean said, largest ladies group shower contest tomorrow morning on your show, please. Call in with
Dean, you're a pig. No.
Sandy, does her husband have something to be worried about here?
Oh, absolutely not. But back in the early 90s, it was a thing in high school.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask.
Absolutely.
Is this like after a certain date, they just didn't do this anymore? Because when I was in middle school, that was 1996, 97, 98. And I never, we'd go to gym class. We'd never have to shower. You just put your school clothes back on.
Gross.
Only during the swim
I'm sure-
unit that we had to shower the chlorine off.
I'm sure it's probably something they put the kibosh on after so many years. I mean, things change.
Bullying.
Things happen, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, we can't do this anymore."
Yeah.
You know.
So you're telling me even after you ran
But
cross
it wasn't
country,
like
Kat,
that back then.
Yeah. Sandy, hang on a quick second. You're after cross country. You wouldn't shower with all the other girls?
No, I'd go home. I'd go home and shower.
This is ridiculous.
We'd be done with practice, and then my mom would pick me up, or I'd walk home and
You've
I would
never
just
been
shower.
in a shower with a whole bunch of other girls naked?
Never.
Sandy, how many times in your life have you showered with other women?
Well, being in high school, probably at least a good dozen.
Yeah.
This is like, what's the movie? Animal House, where they cut the hole out
Oh, Porky's.
of the wall. Or Porky's, yeah. See, that scenario never happened in my lifetime, ever. But then you go to a local community center
That's
or
why
YMCA.
she is the way she is now. Yeah, I get it.
Oh.
All right.
But even after having 3 kids, it's kind of like there's no shame in this game anymore. The doctors have all seen it.
You would think that I would feel like that as a female, and I have no qualms about other women being naked in front of me, but I just can't bring myself to do it. I don't know what it
What
is.
is she hiding, Sandy? What do you think she's hiding?
Nothing.
Oh, nothing. She's just, don't be insecure. There's nothing to be insecure
I bet she's got a tattoo like Robert De Niro in Cape
No.
Fear on her back, and she just doesn't want anyone to see
She's a
it.
beautiful, gorgeous woman, and she has nothing to
Oh,
hide.
stop.
You're hammered.
Stop.
All right. Thanks, Sandy. We appreciate it. I hope you
You're
have a
the
great
most
morning.
lucid caller we've had all morning. I love it.
Are you ready for me to blow your mind?
Are you ready?
Craig had texted in, do you guys still do that thing where you tell all the girls what their bra size is by knowing their name? And I'm like, and that's what it sounded like in the text. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't like to show this off very much because here's the hard part. I have a 22-year-old son who's asked me, Dad, how do you do that? And I'm like, you'll know when I die.
He wanted free drinks. See if it ran in the genes.
It's in the will. You'll know when I die. I have it all scripted out. It's pretty easy that a lot of women's names correlate with their bra size. I've just done the research over the years, and I'm ready to prove it if you can just give me your first name, which is what?
Jada.
Jada, like Jada?
That's it.
Oh, this is so easy. Jada, you are rolling with 36 Ds.
How did you?
It's
Did
creepy.
he get it?
It's creepy. Of course I got it.
He did. What in the world?
That is crazy, but he's very good with J names, so this one didn't
Oh,
surprise
it doesn't.
me.
No. Any name, I can do this. And Jada, it's not creepy, but obviously thinking about your bra right now.
No, that's just insane. Like, I was like, there's no way he's going to get it. It's not going to happen. But,
Ooh.
yeah.
Keep doubting me. See what happens. All right, I got time for one more real quick. It's Raven, right?
Raven.
And how do you spell your version of Raven?
Rayven.
Oh, see, I knew there was
Yep.
something silly about this. This is easy. Raven, you are a 38 double D?
Yep.
Wow.
Look at you.
As in, good damn.
You know, sometimes he's got to do this with his hands to really get in the mindset, but wow, he nailed it.
So, do you find this to be something that you have grown to really enjoy, or would you rather be a little smaller?
I hate them. They give me back problems.
Yes. Have you ever been driving around and you just get that fire in your back and you have to find somewhere to massage you like ASAP?
A man in my life that rubs my back every night.
Oh, look at you.
Nice.
You found a spot. Good for you,
I
Raven.
mean, Derek would do that for me too, but sometimes you just got to swerve into the mall, handle it right then and there.
He does that. He likes the nice lady at the mall.
Everybody seems to. This is the year you're looking into getting...
It has to be. I'm going to be 40. I need a new rack, and I got to look into it. This is not a vain. This is not a vanity thing. This is like my back is on fire most days, and so I got to do this for myself.
Do you have a particular type of clothing? If you were to describe your outfit today to our listeners, what would you say you've got going on?
I am Valentine's inspired because what's Friday, Valentine's Day, I'm going to be going to an 85-degree location.
Nothing says I love you more than getting out of the cold.
Yes. So I'm like, I'm going to kick off the week, and maybe by wearing this, I could inspire some guys and girls to get their poop in a group and get some plans on the schedule, like reservations, gifts bought.
Does that shirt start a conversation usually with people?
Yes. They always say,
that's what I was looking for.
And it inspires you to love. It's a huge red heart on a tan sweater, and I love it.
So there's this little bar a mile from our house that my wife and I frequent, go there. Their food is amazing. And we started kind of, getting to know the locals a little bit. There's one guy that always wears his mega hat. And every single day it starts a conversation. We can just be sitting there like flies on the wall, and it always starts a conversation. It never gets like heated, right? Like it's not like a college campus.
Yeah.
But it always starts a conversation. And I was just kind of wondering, like the only thing that I have that starts a conversation like that is, remember when we printed up all those Your Mom shirts?
Yep.
And on the back it says, loves our radio station?
Yeah.
Like that one, always, I get a reaction from somebody every time I wear that. I could go to Costco and someone's going to go, Your Mom, I love that shirt, And we were, Trish and I were at a Minnesota Twins game last year, and I had worn it like under a hoodie because it was kind of a cool day, and it got warm out, took the hoodie off, and all these people are like, Your Mom, I love that. That's a great shirt. So I was just wondering real quick, do you have an item of clothing that instantly starts a conversation or gets a reaction?
Yeah. Is it funny? Or is it one of those, some would look at the MAGA hat as divisive? Some would say that if you're a MAGA supporter and you'd walk by and go, hey, like with a thumbs up, or are you like, take that off?
But it really is kind of the root of our, free speech situation.
A piece of clothing should never get you to the point where you could go to jail. I mean, truly, you gotta really start handling and honing in your emotions.
So do you remember when you interviewed here? When did you ask about monies?
I think I was too young. I think I wanted to get out of the situation that I was in. And sometimes people are led to desperation like that. And you're just like, listen, I will work my way up to what I deserve. But yeah, I don't remember that conversation.
So let's welcome Grant onto the show today, and do us a favor, man. We saw your message. Tell us about the big job interview.
So on the job interview, the salary range was pretty wide, and it's something that I really am concerned about. But so I wanted to ask about it straightforwardly. But my friends are really advising me against that, saying, "Oh, it's not good etiquette and whatnot."
Yeah,
I'm here just thinking, when do I bring it up? Because I know I'm worth a specific number. I won't even get to that, but I need to know that I'm there before I could accept it, and I don't want to be wasting my time.
I've always asked for it before I even got to the interview.
You do?
Yeah.
I would wait until you're offered the job.
Too late then. You're too far in. A lot of these jobs take 4 weeks to get.
Well, I mean, if you hear right back and they say, we really enjoyed our interview and think you're a great fit, we'd love to offer you the position, say, I'd love to take it, but I do need to know the base salary. I mean, you have every right to know what you're going to get paid. Like, that's your livelihood.
Yeah, exactly how I feel.
I just don't want to see you wasting time going through an interview process for a job that's half the price, that's willing to pay half the price of what you think you're worth. I mean, that's just not worth your time. Now you're wasting your time, and it's all about. I have zero problems ever asking about this up front. When I took this job, I said, this is what I'm going to need to make. And they're like, all right, well, we're going to think about it and get back to you. And I was like, that's fine. If you're not willing to pay that, then that's okay. But yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to I bet you there are people listening that are actually in the hiring process right now. And I'd like to see what they think, because there probably isn't a straight cut rule for this, but it'd be kind of, and I think it floats, right? It's probably a little bit generational. So let's see what everyone else thinks, and, maybe just turn your radio up, okay? Tuesday morning, we know you need that cash infusion, so we've got it for you in the Playhouse. All you got to do is be here at about 8:20. We could get you $50,000 cash, and all we need, are 5 numbers. So good luck on that as we wrap up the podcast. We just talked to Grant a couple seconds ago. He's got a big job interview today.
So on the job interview, the salary range was pretty wide, and it's something that I really am concerned about. But so I wanted to ask about it straightforwardly, but my friends are really advising me against that.
See, and I'm a fan of finding out what they think you're worth right away.
Okay.
I would ask this up front. Kat's like, I'd wait till I got the job.
Yeah,
Ryan, what would you do, man?
So if I was in that situation, and what I've found with my own experience is when you're in the interview, going over your resume, your experiences and everything, at the end of the interview, they usually ask you if you have any questions for them. And if they give you a wide salary range, I think that's the best time to, that's where you ask, hey, based on my experience, what I believe, like, where do you see me starting at the salary, and kind of get a good gauge there and kind of start the conversation about it then.
Yeah. I wouldn't look at if it's lower than what you thought, that they are undervaluing you, because like I said, there's always room to go up, and then there's always room to go down too. Maybe you are outpricing yourself for the position that they're hiring for. So, so you think during the interview is when that conversation should be had?
Yeah, because that way, and it's best to let them start, because like you said, you don't want to outprice yourself by saying, hey, I'm worth this, and they're like, oh, we can't start you there. But if you let them start out, then you kind of give yourself room to negotiate between what you think you're worth and where they're kind of starting you. Because sometimes, in my experience, they've actually started me above where I was even thinking of staying.
Oh.
But you don't talk it down, do you?
Yeah.
No, never.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
So a lot of jobs now are, you got 2, 3, even like when we hire here, it takes like a month to get somebody in the building usually. And it's like multiple interviews, couple of different rounds. You wouldn't mention that earlier so that you avoid all of that if it's not going to fit your budget?
Well, usually for me, it's been like, because most of mine have been like, the first interview has been either a Zoom or over the phone.
Sure. Yep.
Because I'm looking for remote positions. So it's usually that very first one is when I try to get the gauge of where the pay range will start. And I've had a couple where they've started me off, and I've mentioned where I think I would like to start, and I've stopped right there and haven't gone any further because it wasn't worth my time, because they were valuing me way less than what I was worth.
Yeah, that's my big concern, that you go through 3 or 4 of these and it's a month later, and all of a sudden you make a 50-mile drive to this gig, especially if you're going to be remote, and you finally meet with someone and then they're like, no, we're going to pay you $30,000, then less than what you thought.
And getting a feel for who's interviewing you too is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, just to be stuck with a manager that you already don't get a good vibe from is never the right start.
Good stuff. When was the last time, you did this process, Ryan? How long ago has it been?
Oh, a couple weeks ago. I've actually been looking for a new job for a while, so I've gone through quite a few interviews.
For what work? For what line of work?
I work kind of in a mix of IT and finance.
Okay. This is your world. You're living in it with the IT knowledge, so good luck to you.
Yeah, man. Good luck.
All right, so I wanted to play this audio. When I heard it this morning, I said, what a great dad, making sure that he hammers home to his boys. Like, there's a reason why when you start dating, you have to make a woman feel special.
My brother just started dating. My younger brother, my dad, he called me to tell me that. And he was mad. He was like, this is ridiculous. And I was like, I don't know. Do you think he's too young to date? Like, I had girlfriends in high school. He goes, no, he's not too young to date. He's too immature to find unique ways to make a woman feel special every day. Oh. It's the nicest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm not ready to date. Is that what dating is?
Yes.
Is it finding unique ways to make a woman feel special every day? I'm just trying to text back. I'm just trying to not get bored or be boring enough to text them. And then also, I like hugs.
That is a lot of pressure. But you know what? I want to make it simple for guys and women. If you want to call in or start texting in, what are some ways that right now your man makes you feel special? And they could be just the smallest thing, like a hand on the lower back and a kiss on the cheek saying, thanks for doing this. Or it does not have to be this grandiose gesture.
Stephanie, what's the one thing that happens that makes you feel special?
Well, in my experience, my partner, he works in construction, and so he travels a lot. So the one thing that makes me special is when he sends me an audio in the morning, like, hey, good morning, beautiful, have a great day.
Oh,
Kat does that with her son, but not her husband, I noticed in the studio in the morning.
True. I text my husband. I see him before I leave for work. But I do that, with my son. That's always nice to wake up to. I like that.
Yeah.
How long a stretch is he gone for, or is he usually home?
Well, he's usually gone like right now he traveled to a different state. He's in North Carolina.
Jeez.
But usually he's just gone in the summer and then he comes back in the winter.
So does he bring you keychains from every state?
He was doing that for a while, and then he changed that.
I don't need another keychain. Don't bring me another one.
How many cars do we have?
I also have one more question. Do you ever worry? Does he ever have stories about lot ladies?
Ooh, lot lizards.
I didn't want to say lizards.
About what?
I didn't say it. The ladies. The ladies of the gas stations that...
Oh,
nah,
just tell him not jealous.
Fair enough. He shows him your picture and he's like, I got this to go home to. No, thank you.
I love that. Thank you for calling.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. I appreciate it. Oh, by the way, I just saw Stephanie's text before she called. She's like, I've been listening to you guys since I was 10.
Oh, my God.
Oh, good Lord. Holly, how are you this morning?
I am good, and you?
Good. Is there something, your man does every day that makes you feel special?
Well, I'm lucky enough to have a mechanic for a husband, so he likes to leave me little notes in my car or whatever, and I like finding those random things, or I'll have like fake roses in my vehicle if he does the oil change on it or something like that.
That is so cute. And do you agree that it could be something small, just like a single, acknowledgement of something that you did and that they saw?
Yep.
Yeah, it does not have to be huge at all.
So here's what I do with my wife every day, Holly, and you tell me if this would make you feel special. Every day I come home, and if she's working from home, I'll, say hi. But even if she's not working from home, what I do is, for my wife, I spend the next 10 minutes shutting off every single light in the house, because there's something about a woman that says, I can't shut off a light.
How romantic.
And so I do that for her every single day. That's my gesture for her, and that would work, right?
It is romantic on the electric bill.
Yeah, yeah. So I figure I'm doing my part.
It is romance right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is romance right there.
What do you think is the genetic disposition that will not allow women to shut lights off in the home?
It is opposite in my home. Derek will leave every light on.
Because he's a scared of the dark.
He is a scared. Yes, he is.
Time for drunk adults or little kid. So here's what's going to happen, Kat. We're going to get the scenarios from Brian, Brianna, and Steven. And you've got to try and determine whether or not this was a drunk adult or a little kid moment, all right?
Okay.
We'll start with Brian's.
I once got beat up for trying to draw a dong on somebody's face.
Okay.
It's a skateboard. I'm gonna say a kid, like a sleepover.
Is it a drunk adult or a little kid moment? Little kid you're going with.
Right, yeah.
I would have went with drunk adult on this one. Drunk adult or little kid here, Brian? What do you got for us?
And I was a little kid. So I was at a sleepover, and this first kid that fell asleep, he was named Omar. And when he woke up, he grabbed me and he proceeded to kick my ass.
Yeah.
It was the last time I ever did that.
This was a huge deal while I was in college. If you passed out early, you got the Sharpie.
I was Omar. I was that one. And I loved doing sleepovers, but I would just fall asleep early every single time. I was the one that got the hand in the water, the warm water.
Which led you to an epic run
Yes.
at morning radio. All right. Brianna's up next. I always like to hear from the ladies. What'd you do?
I peed all over someone's Rolls Royce.
Okay. Drunk adult or little kid moment with the Rolls Royce, Cat?
When I heard this earlier, I'm like, what child has access to a Rolls Royce? So I'm going to say an adult.
That's a good call. You were outside the club and took a whiz on it. Brianna, drunk adult or little kid?
I was a drunk adult.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
right
my
on.
mother's boss's Rolls Royce, and he treated her like dirt, and then he fired her.
Oh.
So one night, my drunk friends and I went to his house, and we peed all over his Rolls Royce.
Justified.
And there were 10 of us.
Whoa.
So it was a lot of pee. Long story short, it was all caught on camera.
Oh.
So we all got arrested later that week.
Hey, well done.
God, can you imagine watching that video of 10 women peeing on your car? I feel like those are novelty videos.
I was going to say that could make a lot of money somewhere. All right, one more. Steven, drunk adults or little kid moment. What'd you do here, bud?
I ran into a fire hydrant while playing Frisbee.
Ooh.
Okay.
What are you going with, Cat? Drunk adults or little kid?
Into a fire hydrant. Well, kids play Frisbee.
Yeah, that's where I would have went.
Grown-ups play frolf. So I'm going to say kid.
All right. She's going with little kids. Steven?
I was a drunk adult.
Oh.
I was trying to impress these women with my dope Frisbee skills. Right. Unfortunately, I got a little too pumped up and ran into a fire hydrant trying to catch the Frisbee. I ended up breaking 2 of my toes and getting 4 stitches. Let's just say the ladies were not impressed.
No ladies are impressed with Frisbee.
There are a few things that push me to a limit of frustration because I can't do them. Sometimes I most of the time try to find a way to make it work, but like frolf.
You can't throw Frisbee?
I hate it.
Is it just right away dive into the ground?
Yes, it's like never ever works out. I don't know what I'm doing. The flick of the wrist doesn't work. So,
drunk adults and little kid moments. You got some you want to share? All you got to do is holler at us. Our number is 320-251-1047. By the way, as we just kind of started talking about the Super Bowl halftime show a little bit earlier, Jelly Roll and Post Malone seem to be the leaders in the clubhouse right now.
Yeah,
that everybody wants to see next year. I think that would be a pretty good vibe if you want to throw something at us.
Bingo! How fun!
Last week, someone lost an eye at bingo. Bingo!
Bingo what bingo?
Bingo! Bingo! All right, first caller through. We want to hear from you. You got to call quick because maybe you're somebody listening who
is allergic to eggs, and you couldn't care less at the fact that people are bugging out at the price. But someone in Seattle stole more than 500 eggs from this restaurant the other night.
We saw the guy with the van, and then we tried to block them, and then they just almost crashed us, and then they just ran away. But they didn't touch anything. They just stole the egg, liquid egg, and some meat. The champagne costs more, but they stole the egg.
They walked past all of the dumb.
What happened to the good old days
got the eggs.
When people would just steal copper out of new construction sites? Now they're stealing eggs?
I know. Things are just going to hell. But allergic to eggs, that is my bingo.
And I'm looking for anyone listening who bought a house and it became a complete lemon. Like, for whatever reason, it was the house from hell.
What a
you
nightmare.
Couldn't get your money's worth out of it. You kept having to pour more money in. Sandy, which one do you fit this morning?
I fit the egg allergy.
So you could care less that people are wigging out about the price of eggs, huh?
Well, we still have them in the house. My kids and my husband eat them like they're going out of style, but for me, I'll just make them eggs and stuff for breakfast, and
so this is
I just have my bagel or my toast.
If you ingest it, then it's a problem.
What happens?
But you can touch it, right?
Yeah, I can touch it. It acts like so back when they had the flu shots, I wasn't able to get the flu shot because they had something in the flu shot that had like what was an egg.
An egg derived, yeah.
But now they have different flu shots, so I'm able to get them. I can eat baked goods because there's not a whole lot of egg in it, and it's broke down with a bunch of other things.
But what happens to you? Do you get the hives? Is your throat close? What happens?
No, like really bad flu-like symptoms. I'm puking. It's coming out of both ends.
Oh, man, okay.
Yeah, no, it's bad. Yeah.
Usually which end more than the other?
Both. For me, it's both. There's no one or the other.
What a wild ride.
Crazy. So, but this is like if you go to a restaurant and they've got like if you go to a hibachi restaurant, you know how they do the eggs? You have to be like right away, no eggs, no eggs.
Yep, I tell them no eggs. Mm-hmm. Or even if I go to Perkins, I'll try to do the egg substitute.
Oh. Yeah, good question. Can you do like the egg yolks out of the cardboard carton?
Yeah.
Or the egg whites, I guess. All right. Okay. So, well, good. All right. So this has no bearing on you, and you're just waiting for this to go away.
Right? Yeah, it'll never go away. But.
Thanks, Sandy. You're the best. I hope you have a great morning.
Thank you. Have a good day.
I meant the egg shortage go away, like the egg thing. That would be buck wild, though. I mean, what are you allergic to? Anything?
I am just allergic to like penicillin and Augmentin together. That's it. Like I had pneumonia when I was younger and they put it together and I had like crazy hives and it was a bad reaction, but that was it.
I don't have a single thing I'm allergic to.
Really?
Not one thing. Stupid people.
But as you get older, you can develop them. So be careful.
I thought you were supposed to get them when you were younger.
No, as you get older, you can develop allergies. Absolutely.
So I got a weird story. And if you're allergic to a bunch of stuff, tell me if this is really what happened. My grandmother used to rent out the upper level of her home, and it was like an apartment. There was a kid that lived up there, and I remember just kind of like being at my grandma's place and always kind of playing with this kid. I was really young, and he had this. It was like if you see a hobo walking down the train tracks.
I don't think you can call them that.
What do you call them?
A homeless person.
No, not necessarily homeless. He was a transient. He was just hopping trains. You know what I mean? Like they got that stick with the handkerchief on it, you know, in the cartoons.
Yeah.
He had one of these like handkerchiefs hanging from his ceiling. And I had asked him, what's that? Why do you have that? And he said, it's all the stuff I'm allergic to. And
so he wanted to expose himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that really a thing? Can you, like, if your kids are really allergic to something, can you give it to them in small doses and will they build up an immunity to that?
There was that one rumor that if you're pregnant and you eat peanut butter your whole pregnancy, that you won't have a child that has an allergy to peanuts.
And that kid is always born with a monocle.
Right.
And a top hat. And they're like, it just got into me in utero.
You're an idiot.
But no, I mean, help me with this allergy thing. Can you, like, stop an allergy if you expose a kid to it, like in little doses, or is that dangerous? I'm just kind of curious because this kid was abnormal, to say the least. But a nice guy.